Hello, goddesses. Welcome back to Habits of a Goddess podcast. If you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you can really listen to a podcast, there is a visual to this audio, and it's on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, definitely check it out because you get to see me. And I know some of you guys um, may have been a listener for a while, or you may be a new listener. And I know sometimes it's just really good to connect with a person you're listening to when you actually can see them. So I am trying something new and adding a little bit more visual content for you guys. And I would love for you to come over and say hi. And yeah, so today's topic, I was up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and I could not sleep. And a lot of times I get a lot of good messages. Like I call it like my intuition or my higher inner being speaking to me. A lot of times I get a lot of good messages like in the craziest times in the middle of the night. And I take that time to actually grab my phone and just start writing in my notes. And I came up with so much, future episodes, topics that I am so excited to share with you guys because I just feel like it's like a message that maybe someone that's listening to this podcast may need to hear. And so I always listen to that little nudge I get within. And and then I start writing and creating, brainstorming, and sometimes it feels very good to transmute that energy. And I create episodes, and so that's how a lot of my episodes have come to me. And I know a lot of you guys have asked me that in previous lives that I've shared on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me over there too, Habits of a Goddess. A lot of times I just do spontaneous lives, and you guys get to pop in and say hi and chat and all that great stuff. So today's topic is pick from your own garden, plant seeds of affirmations. And this to me came at the right time because lately I feel like I've been getting a lot of or attracting a lot of um, people to me that instantly in conversation, whenever I'm talking to them, I can tell that they haven't planted seeds within themselves, seeds of confidence, seeds of worthiness, seeds of happiness, seeds of joy, seeds of wealth, seeds of abundance, whether that's for the moment that I'm speaking to them or, because it's totally strangers. And, this is coming from, people that's gravitating towards me, whether it's on social media or in person. I can tell instantly that they haven't planted those seeds for themselves because I have become their source to fill their cup up, which we're going to get into. Point number one is stop relying on other people to fill your cup up. And this is, it's kind of like, only doing inner work when you encounter someone who has done their inner work. If that makes sense. And I'll break this down for you. So, a lot of times when I come across someone and I can tell that they may haven't poured into themselves, they haven't done any self work, any self concept, any personal development, or any therapy, or any of that, I can tell instantly in conversation because I've been there before, right? I can identify something that I've, had a challenge with at one point in my life. And this is not to judge, but this is just an observation. And you may be listening and you may be feeling like, oh, wait, I can identify with this message because I maybe I've been doing this to my friends or family or a complete stranger, but I can identify instantly and tell when someone hasn't planted seeds of affirmation, someone hasn't planted seeds of, nurturing their mind, their body, their soul, and they haven't filled their cup up. They're depleted. They need your energy. They need the feminine essence. They're attracted to it. And you become almost like their source of happiness. You become like almost their source of energy, and you cannot be the source of happiness for others. You cannot be the source of energy for others because you will hinder them for growing. And I never want to be anyone's solely dependable source of happiness because that is very draining. And I can only lead by example. I can only share from an abundance standpoint. I can only give and pour into others when my cup is full. And a lot of times when I come across someone whose cup is not full or even like a little ounce in their cup, I know that my time with them is going to be very limited because no matter what I share with them, they will never get it. They will always have an excuse of why they can't be their best self. And that's when you have to know when to shut up and just smile and nod and be like, okay, meet them where they're at. Not in a sense of like lower your vibration, lower your energy and match their energy, but in a sense of acknowledge when someone is maybe hurting in the moment that's coming to you and confiding in you, or maybe someone who's just not feeling their best self and they don't know how to overcome this. Meet them where they're at, but don't come from a place of judgment because the world already judges, right? More of a place of just loving and compassionate and understanding. And you honestly have to just take like a like a intelligent, like almost have like this emotional intelligence of like where a person is at and know when they're ready for a message, when they're ready for advice, and when they're not ready. There's a big difference. So stop filling up other people's cup and fill up your own cup. And if you are the person that needs your cup filled, start planting seeds of affirmations. Pick from your own garden. Everything that you need, everything that you desire, everything that you solely want in your life that you want to create, like you have that already within yourself. And a lot of times we get clouded, we get clouded with, our own, we get in our own way. And it's because you are constantly in comparison or constantly in this survival mindset or constantly just not grounded in yourself. And you have to start filling up your own cup and start planting seeds of affirmations. And a great example of how you can do that, if you're new and this is the first episode you're turning into, you're already starting. You're already starting by planting those seeds. Finding a podcast, whether it's my podcast, finding, someone that is a motivational speaker and they speak to your soul, you feel in alignment with their message. Like that is the way that you can start planting those seeds within yourself. Reading books, self-help, personal development books, there's so many different ways. Getting out in nature and just connecting yourself to Mother Nature. Like there's so many ways that you can start planting seeds of affirmations. Just find what works and feels good to yourself. If you find that you are the one needing your cup filled, you don't want to be that friend that's draining others and coming to other people to fill you up, to make you feel good about yourself. Like you can do that. You can do that. You have the tools, you have the resources. And maybe listening to this podcast has helped you start that momentum of planting seeds for yourself. So you want to be able to pick from your own garden And you can do that when you start planting your own seeds of affirmations. So look from within, and you have the tools already. The next point I want to share is that you are the creator of your own life. And there are going to be small moments that make those big moments. There is no one big transition in your life that is going to, give you everything that you want and desire in this entire universe. You have to start with baby steps. And, it's a moment to moment, it's a fluidity energy. It's moving from your feminine to your masculine, because you can use your masculine to create and generate too as well. But you can also use your feminine essence to receive and to attract as too as well. And so you don't have to pick one or the other. You can move in those two energies to create this abundance, to create health, to create love, to create more passion in your life. You have that creator energy. And when you stop consuming anything that doesn't align with what you desire, you can see how to create. And those creations will become more, those creations will become more fruition for you. So be the creator, create from within, and just know that it's moment to moment. It's not a one-time big transaction. When you see someone living their best life and you're wondering, how did they get there? They've been doing it the whole time. You just never noticed, because it was those small increments, that 1% every day, doing something mindful. And I'm going to share with you guys, like for me, I know that my health is like top priority up there with self-care. It's just physical body health. I every day I'm doing movement, whether it's taking a class, I use ClassPass, whether it's going to a Pilates class, or whether it's walking in my neighborhood, or whether it's making sure I'm being mindful with the things I put in my body, the foods I eat, knowing when to dial back and not overindulge. I know that those are the increments, small increments, that are contributing to my physical attribute, my physical physique. And I get so many DMs asking like, oh my God, girl, how do you work out all the time? And it may appear that I do work out all the time, but in reality, I make a commitment all the time to my physical well-being. I know that I'm the creator of this magical body that I'm in, and that I'm going to spend whatever, investment it is to look and feel my best. So, just know that you are the creator, and it's small increments that make a bigger picture for you in your life. Whatever that looks like for you, you define that moment. You define what it is for you. And then the next point I want to share on how to pick from your own garden by planting seeds of affirmation is find affirmations that work for you. There's so many different affirmations on this podcast, and I get so many amazing DMs from women that say, oh my God, I found your podcast and I've been listening to you for months. And I always ask, like, which episode did you find me on? Like, which one that you clicked on and you're like, oh, let me tune in to Habits of a Goddess and see what she's about. And I find that whatever you need in the now, in the moment, that is the affirmation that's going to work for you the best. So you may ask me like, okay, what do you suggest on, what book do you suggest for personal development, or what affirmation do you suggest for XYZ? I always find that whatever you're attracted to, whatever you're drawn towards, that's the affirmation for you. You can sit here and listen to 1,000 affirmations, but it might be that one affirmation that just really hits you hard, that you're like, it clicks, like you get it. So find an affirmation that works for you and let that be like your foundation. Let that be the affirmation that you can always go back to and pick yourself up. You can always go back to and refill your cup. Like, that's the affirmation for you. So you only know what that is. And if you haven't found an affirmation yet, I really encourage you guys to just check out, the different affirmations, over the course of almost 200 episodes. There's so many different delicious affirmations that you guys can just listen to and just, find what resonate with you best. So the last point I want to mention, and I hope you guys been enjoying this episode, is that water yourself. The journey isn't linear. Make sure you are watering yourself. Every day, find ways to water yourself. I am doing that by showing up and spending time with you guys. And this is me watering and putting back into myself too as well. I always find creative ways to water myself, to pour into my own cup. And I know that my journey is not like a one-time like transaction. It is not linear. It is so many different ways to water myself. I spoke about this in the past. I've used therapy. I've used mentors, coaches, life coaches, business coaches, maybe friendships, sisterhood, relationships. There's so many different ways of just watering yourself and spending really good quality time and getting to know your best self. A lot of times we feel like we need to always be on the go, the hustle and the bustle, but sometimes you just need to rest and not have a plan in mind and not overthink about the future, but truly, truly enjoy the now, and knowing that the moment that you decide that I get to have everything that I desire, I get to be my best self, I get to be healthy, I get to be, wealthy, I get to look good, I get to feel good. There's so much that you can attract in that frequency and that energy, and just watering yourself every day. Whatever that looks like for you, you define that. So let me know in the comments if you're watching this video on the YouTube channel or if you're listening to this audio on the podcast. Let me know if this episode resonated with you, and how can you plant seeds today? What are those seeds looking like for you? How can you pick from your own garden and water yourself by planting seeds of affirmations? So let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, of course, make sure you guys share it on our social media and tag us at Habits of a Goddess. I truly appreciate when you guys do share that, because it lets me know that, okay, this is resonating, and someone has enjoyed this episode for the day. And also maybe your audience may enjoy this too as well. So when you share on your platform, I do appreciate that, and it definitely helps expand to the collective Habits of a Goddess. So I look forward to seeing you lovely ladies on social media, so definitely come over and say hi. And if you have any questions or you want to contribute to a future episode, let me know in the comments on our Instagram page at Habits of a Goddess, a future topic for an episode. So until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye, goddesses.